Not for the first time in its long and troubled history, Belfast burned. In a city still divided by old peace walls, new enemy lines have been drawn.
I think our country should fight back whatever way we see fit. We're not being listened to.
We are the same blood in our body, the same blood, the same color.
The resentment and rage seen across the UK in recent years, fuelled here by Northern Ireland's complex legacy.
The one thing that marks this out as different from the rest of Britain and Ireland is that we have on the walls a celebration of past violence, of status that was achieved by using violence. And young people look at that and say, it's my turn now.
The rioting in June was triggered by this video of a knife attack by a black man on a white man, which quickly went viral. But if this was the spark, parts of Belfast were easily ignited, primed and ready to go.
So we knew that there was going to be violence coming, and that this was orchestrated by wider forces, I would say, paramilitary groups who operate here year after year with complete impunity. We've seen some leaflets that were made calling on people to come and disrupt, to stop the traffic in certain areas, and calling on people to wear masks, and for residents to turn off their ring doorbells and their dash cams.
Though the rioting was fierce, it was contained, predominantly to working class loyalist areas where migrants were known to be living. With the Protestant population declining, there are more empty properties there, and private rentals are often cheaper. A gang of 5 men tried to smash their way into this house where Kasim, not his real name, had been watching football with friends.
All I think about my family, what will happen to them? They will burn in the house. And, you know, sorry.
Kasim fled Yemen to settle in Belfast with his wife and children. The youngest is just 4 months old. He works as a delivery driver while studying part-time for a postgraduate degree. The attack, he says, was not random.
They targeted migrants, they targeted black and brown people.
Yeah. I mean, not even in the streets. Like, coming to the house, like they are organized or something. They didn't come here because, we want to live here or something, or we want to take their jobs or their benefit, as they say. We just come here like forcefully because of our countries in danger and no more.
But this country at the moment is not peaceful for you either, is it? Doesn't feel it.
Actually, I hate to say that, but actually, yes. Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but yeah, kind of, you know.
The rioters were marshalled quickly. Calls to take to the streets on social media, amplified by Elon Musk and Tommy Robinson. 1 in 5 of those arrested was a child, the youngest just 12 years old. The Children's Commissioner of Northern Ireland said he's in no doubt they were being exploited by agitators, including paramilitaries.
I witnessed with my own eyes children, young people, teenagers being transported in and out of my community, a community that these people don't live in. So that's coercion, that's trafficking. You know, this is trafficking people. I've certainly been alerted to instances where children or young people have been instructed to be there to service a debt.
The Commissioner told us he'd been sent death threats twice after speaking out against the violence. This street in East Belfast saw some of the worst disturbances. Today, this migrant family are back to try to return home. We're told after an earlier altercation on the street with locals, police were called. What is really striking is how much fear there is here. The migrant families, obviously after what has happened, they are terrified. But the people who live here, who want them out, seem equally afraid. Off camera, they have plenty to say, unsubstantiated claims that foreigners, they don't work, they get the best houses, they get phones, they even get cars from the state. But they say they can't talk to us because the paramilitaries who still control this area won't like it. On one thing, they are absolutely clear, that if the migrant families are moved back in, the mobs of masked men will come for them again. There's no doubt attitudes towards immigration are hardening here. Polling from More in Common showed while the vast majority condemned the rioting, immigration is one of the biggest issues across all communities, and for the Unionists, their number one concern.
People see change happening, which is challenging, and it feeds into the whole issue of around housing.
In North Belfast, we meet local Democratic Unionist politician Brian Kingston. He's painfully aware of treading a difficult path, deciphering what are legitimate concerns within his own community and what is out-and-out racism.
It is indisputable that immigration is a hot topic throughout the UK and Ireland and throughout Europe. So people have concerns when they see abuse of the asylum system, when they see uncontrolled immigration. People see the boats crossing the English Channel. Well, it gets more and more difficult to get social housing here, what would be council housing in England. A number of points people need to get private rental properties. There's a high level of demand from migrant families for those. So that can feed into people's feeling of a grievance, but that in no way justifies any violence.
Mr. Kingston says he has also been threatened after publicly condemning the violence. In Portrush, about 90 minutes out of Belfast, a small but vocal anti-immigration protest. Like the migrants themselves, the talk here is of feeling unsafe.
Had enough, we don't want them.
The threat from outsiders summed up by outsider Sarah White from Essex, a veteran of protests elsewhere in the UK. The message, the danger of alien cultures, backed by this young mum marching.
If you are coming over here to fit in with our law and our culture, I'm 100% for that. But I think it's been proven a lot of them, they've shown that they're not with us, they're against us, and that's my view.
You talk about being safe for children. We saw families with children burned out of their homes. Do you think that's the wrong way to go about this?
I think our country should fight back whatever way they see fit. We're not being listened to, and we have to fight back. I'm not supporting violence, but I'm saying everyone has their own way of doing it. I don't go out and do that myself, but
you don't disapprove of people who do?
It's different situations. It's a hard one for me to answer that.
Why are people so unhappy about it? Well, there's people being raped. There's people, this is all happening here. It hasn't happened before. These guys are capable of this.
I mean, Northern Ireland has always had, or very recently, one of the highest levels of domestic violence long before the migrants have arrived.
But not with paedophiles and rapists like what's happening now, I think.
Reasons coming here, getting a 4-star hotel, getting 50 or 60 pound a week spending money, getting a wee car, to a new phone, to designer clothes. Well, I'm walking about in a pair of bloodies, £7 out of Freemark.
Belfast, divided for decades along sectarian lines, is now fracturing in different ways. A sewing session at Annika in North Belfast, a community support group for migrant and asylum-seeking women. There's a lot of fear here too, but there's anger at violence that organisers believe was predictable and preventable.
I think we can't ignore just how significant segregating our communities are. Whenever we have a school system that is completely segregated, we have a housing system that is completely segregated, this becomes the water that people swim in. And so they hold close to this identity. And if part of your community identity is telling you, we are now targeting black and brown people, there is a lack of critical thinking for people to stop and interrogate that and wonder why that may be.
Early evening back in June. Inside this house are 5 asylum seekers, hiding upstairs, fearing for their lives.
We told each other that we were going to die on the same day. So, and we were desperate. The police were not helping us. and we almost gave up.
Finally, around midnight, police did come and evacuate them. After they left the house, the rioters moved in. This is what the men returned to.
It feels like they treated us like we are not human beings. They missed everything, or they urinated on the floor, and it's very sad. Yeah.
Back at the march in Portrush, they're keen to make clear their arguments are based on religion, not race.
We are a Christian country, and a Christian country we will always be. We will not be in this Muslim or an Islamic state.
I mean, I have spoken to Christian people here who were burned out of their houses.
What's the proof that they are actually Christian?
So this young
They're
man,
claiming to be Christian.
this young man had told us that he had been so grateful for the response from the people in his local church.
Yeah.
I suppose the problem is, when people go burning people out of their houses, they don't know who they are. They went looking for black and brown people. Is that right?
No, it's not right, because there's brown Christians, there's black Christians.
But he is a black Christian who's been burnt out of his house.
Yeah, but what is his proof that he's a Christian? Where did he come from? Look at his history.
They didn't
the people here, from here, we are Christian, we were born here, we were reared
When
here,
the
we are
masked men
Christian.
came to his house, they didn't look for proof of anything.
Yeah, because they probably know. The thing, people aren't just going to go to somewhere and do it off the bottom of the top of their head. They're going to go and they're going to do the things. They're not going to do it without facts.
You know, there's a grievance culture, there's a sense of nothing's right.
Although scores of peace walls still divide the city, sectarian violence has declined since the Good Friday Agreement, but race-related crimes are at a record high. Those responsible are small in number, but driven and encouraged by outside agitators, the damage can be huge.
These people here are connected to global networks of racism. They're getting their social media, they're getting their arguments, they're getting their call to arms. And that adds to, especially amongst vulnerable young men, seeking status, which of course is also on the other side of the wall, where young men are seeking status by taking on the police. So you've got this history of you stand up, you take on the state, you take on the other. And why wouldn't that filter down to a different generation, even though ironically you stop the type of violence that at one time was common?
Northern Ireland's politicians eventually found a way to forge a fragile peace between two communities despite years of bitter conflict. This is the third summer of rioting targeted at immigrants. Can they bring this violence to an end before it too becomes entrenched?
Jackie Long with that special report. And in a statement, the Police Service of Northern Ireland told us, "We reject claims that our response was anything other than appropriate. Our officers worked under incredibly challenging conditions to calm disorder, protect lives and restore calm. Members of loyalist paramilitary groups were present in some disorder and were involved in directing the violence at a number of locations. After the first night of disorders, some paramilitary groups tried to dissuade members from becoming involved in further disorder, whilst others did not. We remain determined to bring as many of the people involved."
The hustle starts before the day begins and keeps going long after the lights go out. Hustle outworks, outplays, outsweats, and outlaughs.
Migrants are bad because of the Sundown town, which are racist.
You don't like black people up here. It's still racist, but it ain't safe after hours. I would recommend everybody leave out there before you get on the street lights before it turns dark.
It's like an historic monument where they would hang black people, you know, black people, they take them out, like Dixie, way out on Dixie Road and they do bad things. I don't know what. I don't know if they murder them or what.
They tell black people to do with that. Still let them off racism. But you know what? They got bad white people just like they got bad black people.
We people of color show up. Is that fun? Still a person of color, right?
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy. Oh my God, it's Young Mooch, man. I'm back with another video. I'm back with another vlog. I'm currently going to one of the most racist towns in Texas. Vidor, Texas was a sundown town, a place where black people historically faced intimidation and were discouraged from being there after dark, faced protests, threats, and KKK activity.
Consider the headquarters town or the plant.
I'm like, why not investigate it a little bit more? I've been there, I passed through it multiple times. It's called Vidor, Texas.
It was a town known as a hub of hate, a radical respite of racism. Blacks were told to keep their asses out of Vidor, Texas, just east of Houston.
If you know, you know. I actually made a video on it before, but I just want to, you know, explore it a little more. I feel like every time I go there, I really don't explore it all the way. So today we're gonna really investigate the town. We're like 20 minutes from over there. Yeah, I don't know where. Yeah, we're gonna ask some people about the town. You want any snacks? Come on in. Don't talk. Just point at it if you want some snacks. You want snacks? Okay. You want the apple or the orange? Oh, this. Okay. I got you. Excuse me. I'm about to go to Vidor, Texas. You think I should go there? Huh?
Probably not.
Why not? Be real. Just be honest. No. I'm just vlogging. Be real though. Huh? Nah, I can't hear you.
I don't think it's.
Man, you gotta speak up.
I don't think it's a good place for people like us, perhaps.
Thank you. Thank you. She said I wouldn't go there. It's not a place for people like us. Hey, let's go to the Waffle House across the street. Yeah, Vidor, Vidor, Texas is a sundown town. It's like it's really where the KKK members used to be at, or I don't know if they're still active over there. The town has a lot of dark history, you know? How y'all doing? So I'm traveling right now, and I'm about to go to Vidor, Texas. Do you know any information about it?
Information about Vidor, Texas.
You don't?
I was born and raised here, so that's all I know about.
But have you heard about it?
I have heard about it.
Well, what have you heard about?
I've heard like it's a great city. It's better than this city. It's better than Beaumont for sure. But he probably knows a lot more about it than me.
Excuse me, sir.
I don't like being on camera.
Okay, just point at me. What you heard about it?
I heard it's a racist town, man. A real racist town. Like it's bad. My wife, I'm married to a black woman.
Wait, you might come here, I'll blur you out and shit. Wait, what you know about Vidor?
So, my wife, I'm married to a black woman. She told me that Vidor is real bad. She calls it a sundown town. It's real racist. It's bad up there, y'all.
I was about to go over there to investigate the town. You think I should go over there?
You got a license to carry?
Huh?
You got a license to carry?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Carry your license to carry and carry your weapon.
Okay.
I gotta get back to work.
Appreciate you.
I haven't heard anything nice about it.
Flashback. And I'm about to go to Vidor, Texas. Do you know any information about it?
Information about Vidor, Texas.
You don't?
I was born and raised here, so that's all I know about.
But have you heard about it?
I have heard about it.
Well, what have you heard about?
I've heard like it's a great city. It's better than this city.
A flashback.
But they do be saying it's a racist town. They don't like black people.
Say that again?
They don't like black people over there.
Really?
Yeah. They said that about Jasper and Vidor and not Lumberton. Lumberton's fine, but Jasper and Vidor mostly.
Okay. So how come you ain't tell me that when I first asked? You trying to set me up. You trying to tell me that was a nice town.
I ain't trying to be too like pessimistic because it is
And
a
then you try to say it's better than here.
They say we boring. Anybody that comes here, they say Beaumont's the most boring town, boring city ever.
Trying to walk you into a fire.
I am not.
Yes, she is. Hey, Alex, I appreciate you for the heads up, dog. Basically, I'm about to go to Vidor, Texas. You have any information for me?
Baby, listen. It's not all that. Listen, I used to work out there in Vidor. It's still racist, but the introverted a little bit. but it ain't safe after hours. It's not. I would recommend you better leave out of there before, the street lights, before it turns dark.
Yeah, it's a sundown town. Vidor, Texas was widely recognized as a sundown town, meaning black people were historically excluded or intimidated from living there.
They'll come around. Yeah, it is.
So you don't recommend me going there?
Oh, you go there now? You go there now? Hopefully you get good service. Hopefully they do got some. Oh, you a man, yeah. They'll like you.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're a pretty boy. Yeah, they'll like you. Yeah, you cute.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
You cute too, Big Mama. Alright, Big Mama. How you doing? Hey, Brianna, you know about Vidor, Texas? Yeah. Bro, I'm about to go over there right now. You got any words for me?
Be careful.
Huh?
Be careful.
Bro,
Yeah.
you been there?
It's a sundown town.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm about to investigate it.
Just be careful.
You wanna come with me?
No, I'm at work. Be careful. Don't say the wrong things to people. Yeah. Stay safe.
Are they racist to Hispanic people too?
I don't think as much, but you never know.
Alright, well, you have a good night. Alright?
It ain't for blacks.
Sundown town, bro.
Yeah, it's sundown town. So shit, I'm just thinking, mind my business. I don't go looking for shit.
Okay, well, I'm about to go over there, bro. You got any advice?
Shit, good luck.
I have arrived in Vidor, Texas. I'm at the local CVS pharmacy. So let's let's see, let's ask one of the people from the towns about the reputation. How you doing? Good. Oh, you're good. How you doing? Doing good? Ma'am, can I ask you a question? I'm just doing a documentary about the town and stuff like that. Is the reputation true about the town?
Basically.
Okay. Do you what you mix with?
Black and white.
Okay. Do you get do you ever get let me go ahead. Yeah. Nah, yeah, good. I didn't expect a colored person to be here. I gotta go boo-boo. Picking up stuff. Trying to blend in. How y'all doing? Good. Hey, can I ask y'all a question? Is this town I know it has some reputation. Is that how do y'all feel about that? As locals down here?
Well, we recently just moved here, about, a year ago? Yeah.
Where y'all moved from?
I moved from Amarillo, Texas. She moved from Denver.
Wait, do y'all know about this town? The history?
Yeah, we do. It doesn't seem bad anymore. I feel like it's definitely changed from its past.
Okay.
I think it's probably, it helps growing and getting some other people in here and kind of changing the past of the town. And I do know people are still kind of sketchy about certain parts of Vidor, but I don't really know. We live all the way in Lumberton.
What made y'all move down here though?
I was living with my aunt and uncle, and this is just where they moved.
Okay.
But we live all in Lumberton. Yeah, it's 30 miles from here.
Oh, okay. Is there still some sketchy parts around here?
I've heard South Vidor, but yeah.
Really?
I think it's more of drugs. Other than it's mainly drugs. It's nothing
drugs.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys. How you doing? Good. We just making a documentary. Yes, ma'am. Yes. We just wanted to visit the town. It was known for like a sundown town. Yeah. So we just interviewing. You know, are you a local here?
I used to live here. I graduated here.
Really? Have you seen anything like racist around this town?
I would say, yeah. I mean, obviously you see racism everywhere, but I wouldn't say it's any different from any other town around here. You know what I'm saying? Like racism and just people being discriminatory. It's.
Wait, you went to high school here?
Yes.
Really? So like, did you see any racism in high school?
So there was racism. It's just a lot of kids saying slurs.
Really?
That's more so what I would say. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You went to school here?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
How was that, like, going to school here?
It wasn't like I don't know.
Did you deal with anything like going to school here in this town?
Well, yeah, with like being probably one of the only black people, yeah, racism out there, yeah.
But you didn't experience nothing like being in the town? Because not a lot of black people in this town.
But, okay, I actually have one thing to say. When I moved into my house, there was, the people that owned the house previously, they had like a whole bunch of pictures of them burning crosses and them being like in the KKK, like white hoods and all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
So you moved into the house?
Yeah, my family did. But they never saw me. Because my mom was like white and stuff, so.
Yeah. So when you moved into the house, they had the pictures of
They had boxes. We were kids, so we was kind of just going through like boxes and stuff, and we saw that. And there was like a book. I think some dude was writing like a manifesto, and he was like, it was like Nazi. Yeah, he was into like stuff like that.
Wow. So you seen like pictures of the KKK?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's
Had some people come down like here thinking that we would be in support of it, but a couple years ago we had some people come and try to like spread their white supremacy stuff.
We start this evening with Vida residents responding after several people who appeared to be part of a white supremacist group were seen demonstrating on Saturday afternoon. Good evening, I'm Ebony Coleman. It was quite a morning for the residents of Vida after some unwanted guests started protests near the Walgreens on Main Street. Now take a look at these photos. At least 6 masked people in camouflage showed up at that Walgreens on Main Street and East Tram Road in Vida. Again, they displayed an Aryan Freedom Network flag along with a Confederate flag that had their logo on it. White power and a swastika signs were all on display for drivers.
White power is a racist slogan associated with white supremacist and white nationalist movements. It generally expresses the belief that white people should have social, political, or racial dominance over any other groups.
And actually a lot of people in town were screaming and hollering at them, like telling them to like get out of our town, like you're what gives us a bad. And they were all from like Lumberton and Orange, and they weren't from here. They had like white supremacy flags and were like thrown around like the swastika, and it was just insane stuff. And if you went to their website, it was just like Hitler and bring back white people, and it was just like insane stuff. It was pretty bad. I was working at a grocery store that used to be over there.
Really?
And I saw, it all happened. The reason we have such a bad reputation with that is because we were one of the last communities to stop lynching.
Define that word for people who don't know.
Isn't it tracking people with their truck with a like rope over their neck? Yeah. They
I'm dragging the blacks.
black community, yeah, people of other ethnic races just out of racism.
Roughly 3 hours south of Texarkana, 49-year-old James Bird Jr. was savagely beaten and tied to the back of a pickup truck in Jasper, Texas. He was then dragged until his body was battered and torn beyond recognition. The lynchings of John Carter in 1927, Claude Neal in 1934, and Willie Vinson in 1942 were carried out by lynch mobs that reportedly numbered in the hundreds.
Some pandemonium to your practice?
Chrome brilliance, pre-loved Rolex, custom lab-grown diamond bezels, reversible by design.
You weathered many storms together, even in uncertainty, even after a diagnosis.
And I know there is a place by, like, going towards Orangefield. It's like a historic monument where they would hang black people and from a tree, and it's like known as like a historical monument to remind us like to never do that again.
Like when you were in high school, know any people that were like strongly believed in like white power or like were really racist in high school?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there were a couple of people like that.
Some people are born into that, you know?
Like extremely but they were all like idiots. They were all dumb. Like those kids were the dumb kids that you could tell they came from like very troubled homes and they just followed what their, I guess, parents or like grandparents thought, and that's honestly everyone in the community. The most racist people are the oldest people.
Right, yeah.
So, like...
You too, man. Hey, man, I just want to say thank you again for, you know, talking to us and giving us some educational background of the town. Yes, ma'am. How you doing, sir? Okay. What did he say?
He said, not worth a crap.
Let's get up out of here. The white girl said that there was a lot of racist people in her high school. People were recruit people for white power, supremacy around the area, she said. And the other girl said when she moved here, in the house, they found pictures of the KKK members and burning the cross and just a whole lot of just weird stuff. So it's kind of crazy, y'all. Like, and then the other girl said there's a monument somewhere around here where they used to hang people on the trees. And she said this is one of the last places, and we do documentaries, so we came to invite her because it has some history behind it. And she told me that you're actually from here. So you know, you grew up here. So can you tell us like any history or any? Because this town was known for racism back in the day. So
I did hear some of that.
Right. So do you have any stories for us, like from the back in the day or anything?
I don't remember. I've just heard stories like of them, beating people and stuff like that.
Okay.
Which I was totally against.
Right.
Yeah, we go to Eastgate and we're like trying to break Vider of their curse. That not all Vider people's like that.
Right. So can you tell us one of the stories you heard?
I just heard a long time ago that some people, black people, they take them out by the Dixie, way out there on Dixie Road in Biden, and they do bad things to them. I don't know what. I don't know if they murdered them or what, but I heard a lot of things, crooked things went on back then, yeah, but it was way before my time, but it gave us a really bad name. I know, and all my friends, I got like a lot of colored friends, and they're like, I ain't coming to Biden, no ma'am. I was like, hey, it's different now,
Yeah.
So, it's terrible though.
And how long have you lived here?
I've lived here I'll be 45 next month, so 45 years.
I know you've probably seen something around here, like living your whole life, like from experience. Can you tell us like one of your experiences you've seen?
Well, I know one time they did years back come up here with a sign, you know, saying with the rebel flags. I don't remember, what did it say? You remember me and you were standing there, they had those rebel flags or whatever? Yeah.
Oh, is it like when they came out on the side of Walgreens and did that thing?
Yeah, I don't know what they were saying or whatever, but.
No, I don't know if it was for that or.
But they had rebel flags and stuff, and it made me sick.
What was the flag?
It was like a rebel flag. You know, used to that was a sign like a rebel flag.
What is
of being
that?
racism. You know the flag, what is it, has the, I wish I could Google, let me see if I can Google this. I'm sorry. I don't know, it's a flag, they say it was like a rebel flag.
Angular battle flag.
It's supposed to be for the Confederate.
Oh, yeah.
You know those, remember how they say that they tried to make those?
Oh, so you seen people with those Confederate flags around?
Yeah, that was like a year ago, I think.
Okay, well.
But yeah, but now it's gotten better that I heard, you know. We have colored people live here.
Right, yeah, I've seen.
Still none of my friends want to come here, but
Yeah, a lot of people scared to come to this town.
yeah, they are.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Let's say I want to go through this wall. I break through the wall. What happens to me next?
You will die.
The lowest unemployment in European Union is Poland. The highest GDP after COVID, Poland. One of the lowest debts, Poland.
This is Dominic, a member of the European Parliament from Poland, the country that just approved a new measure to shoot and kill anyone that tries to illegally enter their border.
Unfortunately, one of our soldiers was killed with a spear. Because they behave like animals, unfortunately. They don't behave like civilized people. We are the ones with this border. So we are protecting the whole Europe.
But Poland's strict border control and refusal to take in refugees from non-neighboring countries like Syria and Afghanistan has caused the EU to propose a €22,000 fine for each person Poland refuses to take in, and guys like Dominic to be labeled Islamophobic and fascist.
And Jean-Claude Juncker, the Commission President, says that you're racist. You sound proud of the fact that you haven't taken any refugees.
Of course, because this is what our people are expecting from our government. That's number one. This is why Poland is so safe. I don't care. I care about my family and about my country.
When I see the wall, I do understand that this is for my future children.
Does Poland's strict border policy work? Is Poland significantly safer than the rest of Europe because of it? And do the people of Poland want open borders?
Poland are racist. We are proud of it. And I don't really want any immigrants in my country, you know? Thank you, man.
Before meeting with Dominique, I headed to the capital of Poland, Warsaw, to see what the locals thought of Poland's border and their border patrol now being able to kill migrants illegally trying to enter their country.
At university, what are a lot of the students' thoughts on, shooting down illegal?
Set up a tight dust barrier in minutes with zip wall.
Because 2015, when Poland was saying, no, Poland are the bad guys.
Yeah.
So now those bad guys are bringing the problem to them. The problem is they are not bringing 1,000, they are bringing 11,000.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be checking out Germany dumps thousands of illegal migrants in Poland.
How?
Like how? Possible.
Don't they help by border?
Border, yeah. Germany is the country of its own, Poland is the country of their own. Okay.
I thought the illegal migrants, they'll just take it to the original country they're coming from.
I don't know, they're not
Is that not how it works?
No surprise. Let's see.
What are you doing here? We are from Somalia.
Poland has the reputation of being one of the countries in Europe with the most sensible migration policy. Except Poland right now is being rocked by a massive migration scandal.
As we speak, Poland's border is currently under attack from Germany. They are unloading handfuls of illegal immigrants.
Tak działa policja niemiecka właśnie. Wyładowali uchodźców.
Przejście graniczne. Tutaj Gestapo z SS podrzucają inżynierów, następni Somalijczycy. Świeżutka dostawa.
What's happened? 10 years after Angela Merkel declared Verschaffen up.
It does not make sense. Yeah. They just like to have, for instance, spaces. I'll just double type.
My neighbor's house.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. That's how it is.
And why did I take my child to my husband's family?
Grandparents.
Grandparents. It's a different country on a very
different policy.
And you know what's crazy? No, what's crazy? They tell you from Somalia. Take them back to Somalia.
Somalia! They can really, they know where they're from.
This is
So I
like
don't know.
origin.
So why do you think it's Poland? Do you say I'm from Poland?
The aircraft, is it that far?
Okay, oh, they don't want to pay flight tickets or... They don't
It
come.
doesn't make sense at all.
Ah,
You can't dump your responsibility on another person. And looking at Poland, Poland is not that country. Isn't the country that Poland?
They have to treat
I think I saw a video that they shoot
and there's a reason why they do. So you just have to enforce something like that.
Us in 2015, the Germans have had enough and they are now sending illegal migrants who have entered Germany away to other countries. They have sent at least 11,000 of their illegal migrants to Poland. Polish citizens are absolutely outraged by this and have set up citizen border controls at the Polish-German border guards. Let's dissect what's happening at the Polish western border and why Germany is pursuing this strategy of sending away illegals to Poland. Poland has a reputation online, especially in conservative circles, of having an incredibly staunch anti-illegal migration policy. Videos such as these have been going viral for years now. In this video, we can see...
I think I have a lot to say. Why would I leave my hometown and go to somewhere I'm not welcome? Like I'm forcing myself into that place. These immigrants, they have country, they have family,
They have homes,
they have homes, they have people that telephone everything. It doesn't make sense.
It's a very big headache. I'm looking at Poland culture. Poland have really suffered from so many things.
Yeah. At some point they lost their culture.
Oh, yes.
They're trying not to
preserve their
yeah. Because currently, majority of the country that has high immigrant currently, they know what they're facing.
Yeah.
And they have their
the Polish army deploying water cannons and spraying illegal migrants at the eastern border with water. Now, this is all happening in 2021. There was a wave of migrants organized within a hybrid warfare operation led by Russia and helped by Lukashenko's regime in Belarus of shipping illegal migrants from several countries in the Middle East and Northern Africa, bringing them through airports in Russia and in Belarus, and then busing them to the Polish border, and then the Belarusian army was pushing them across the border to try and destabilize Poland and NATO's eastern flank before the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 20.
It's been 30 days since I got treated with Botox Cosmetic. I was treated for my moderate to severe brown lines. Since treatment, I'm really happy.
Hey, I'm Allie Bradley with News Nation. In this week's Bradley on the Border, we embed with ICE and their special response team here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Remember, the last time we were here was during an at-large operation led by former Commander-at-Large Gregory Bovino. So we're seeing how things are different now, how they're actually conducting their operations, and who they're going after.
Prior surveillance has shown when he goes to the car, he's not looking over his shoulder. He's pretty nonchalantly going to the car. So hopefully he's doing that again today. If for some reason he sees us, we've got an officer going straight to the door to block the door at 228 before he tries to run back inside the house. If for some reason he makes it to the back of the apartment complex, we're going to establish an inner perimeter on the backside and try to contain him as much as possible. With as many people as we have, that should not be an issue.
They got PID through the window. It took about 8 minutes for Super for him to come up.
It's gonna be 8 minutes.
Target's walking out. Stand by.
That's the dually.
All right, move. Sorry, teacher.
Good stuff.
Good.
Nice to meet you. We're over there working.
No. What? Wait, Gemini and Crow. Which of these is close to a park? Right, dog park. This might be the one. I should get a parrot.
The Democrats are trying to take over Texas because I am advancing transformative policies the Democrats are.
Welcome to another episode, everyone. Armed Black Panthers stormed the streets against ICE in support of Mexican immigrants. They say that they're not going to allow ICE to take the immigrants anywhere. They're out protesting with weapons in favor and in support of Mexican Americans. Is this black and brown unity? Should they be doing this or should they be fighting in the black community? I'm just asking the question. You all let me know what you think in the comment.
Oh, Black Panthers. Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
All power to the people. Hello.
Hi,
All
Julia.
power to the people.
Nice to meet you.
Julia. Power to the people. Skip.
To meet you.
All power to the people.
Is it all ready to come in?
Yeah. I'm Chairman Paul Burks. I'm in the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. Yeah. I'm Comrade James. We're calling the Skip. Of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense.
We met the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense at their headquarters in Philadelphia.
Okay, what's in there?
AK-47 and AR-12.
Their popularity has surged in recent weeks, especially following the death in Minneapolis of Renee Nakoka, killed by an ICE officer.
They just killed that lady right there in that car, y'all. This is my response to ICE right here. You know, the United States of America hates this gun. This is a Polish AK-47.
What's your message to ICE?
Fuck around and find out. Try doing that shit to me. See what happened. Look around. Look around. Look what they doing to our peoples. No matter what your skin color, you're our peoples. And we want to stand right by inside our peoples. Every means necessary. And that's what I mean. That power. All power to the people.
The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense draws inspiration from the Black Panther Party founded in 1966 in the United States. The movement rejected the idea of a nonviolent revolution and instead promoted armed self-defense to counter police violence. Internal tensions and intense state repression led to the party's dissolution in the early 1980s.
Come stand with the ancestors. All power to the people. All power to the people. No power to the people.
Online, some people question whether Paul Birdsong truly has the legitimacy to carry on the mission of the Black Panthers. Others fear that his approach could spark an escalation of violence.
I was in the blood, you know what I'm saying? And I knew eventually the revolution was going to catch up to me, but I ran from it for a long time.
Birdsong was mentored by former members of the party. They were the ones that allowed him to use their logo and philosophy in a state where open carry of firearms is legal.
This is the Black Panther Party for self-defense, right? That for self-defense part is the pinnacle thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to attack us first. You throw one shot at me, I'm throwing 30 at you.
Okay, so it's not even eye for eye, it's like eye for the eyes.
It's like, no, what it is it's like our training is to make sure that if you do fire a shot at us, you and nobody next to you that has your back has the ability to fire another shot going forward. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but what exactly does this new Black Panther Party stand for? I'm not exactly sure. I don't know the tenets of this party. Yeah, I do know the tenets of the original Black Panther Party, started by a 21-year-old Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale in 1966, as she alluded to. And they also stood, Fred Hampton certainly stood for all people, all oppressed people, all poor people. And he wanted to bring everyone into the fold. At one point, they even allowed white individuals to join, but that ended up being a disaster for a myriad of reasons.
You were all ready for that, ready to...
Straight like that.
Is this a full-time job for most of you?
Yeah, every day.
Every day?
Every day. It's a lifestyle now. 24/7 is a lifestyle.
It's a commitment.
Commitment. Gotta take a move.
Yeah? And for how long will you be doing this?
For how long will we be doing this?
Yeah.
Till we die.
Mm.
My grandpa was a Black Panther back in the day.
Your grandfather was a Black Panther?
Yes, my grandpa was a Black Panther, yes. That's why I said it's in my blood, literally. We go walk in any hood at any given moment, anytime. They love us, literally.
So what's the plan now? All right.
Like I said, your hood, in a hood near you. Listen, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You guys, it's your first day. So brothers is gonna make you into some lethal ass motherfucking revolutionaries. If you're scared of that, walk away. But if you're ready to step in that car, you're tired of this shit, you're ready to actually do something about it, we're gonna shizzle the fuck out of you.
With rising tension around ICE operations in Minneapolis, the Panthers have increased the number of patrols and intensified their recruitment. Their goal is to protect the community against all forms of police violence. During the election campaign, Donald Trump promised to carry out the largest mass deportation in U.S. history. Over the past year, his administration says it has deported more than 605,000 undocumented immigrants.
Yeah, you already know my fucking boy. That shit is illegal. You know what I mean?
Should have get you shot over here.
Yes, the fucking will. And it's wrong because it's like they think they're above the law. They can do the fuck they want. Because that's cool. They think they're above the law because Trump stupid ass. Come on now, how you gonna wage war on your own fucking country?
Out here doing everything y'all doing for us. Because these cops ain't doing nothing for us. My little cousin almost got raped two nights ago.
Where?
On the 4th Street line.
Well, we on the Broad Street line from now on. I'm
I
sorry
appreciate you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate y'all. I've been waiting to see y'all. I heard like y'all been doing what y'all gotta do, and I appreciate y'all very much.
Tonight after the patrol, when we stop the patrol, we'll go get on the line and write it down in the...
During the patrol, the Panthers stopped for their traditional smoothie break.
You know, over the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of people reaching out, but this is my inbox is something like, and this is just 29 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, an hour ago, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 10 hours ago, 16 hours ago.
back of the headquarters, someone hoping to join the Black Panthers was waiting for birdsong. In the short time we spent with the party, this happened at least 5 times.
And no one's going to be there to protect us. We have to protect ourselves as well as our loved ones. Because everything is happening right now. It's just, it's out of control.
Yeah, around how many men can you tell me, like approximately?
A little under 100.
Okay.
In Philly.
Because I was hearing about ICE recruitment. They like tripled their budget. They recruited more than 10,000 people.
But that's why you need stuff like this.
But then there's escalation, because that's always the question. Do you believe in non-violent revolution?
It's possible, but the threat of violence has to be there.
But I mean, if Trump sends like hundreds of ICE agents, are you ready for that?
Absolutely. Sure.
Yeah?
Send them.
That's not possible. Non-violent revolution is not possible.
Okay.
Far from me to get into it, the logistics of it right now, but it's been proven that it does not work. And it's been proven, it has also been proven that violent resistance does work. They change societies, violent revolutions. It has happened all over the world.
When your teeth are sensitive, even biting into a popsicle can hurt. Try Sensodyne Clinical Repair.
Oh, hey, y'all. I'm sorry. How y'all doing?
This is Miss Faith. She's a criminal.
Interesting. I grew up in a time of the Black Panther. But it was also dying out. So, I don't know. We'll see.
At night, the Panthers patrolled one of the city's main subway lines.
Don't worry about it. Come on.
The ticket inspector let them in for free.
Came down here, they came because people had guns. And then they went back upstairs because the Black Panthers got guns and they ain't go shit about it. No, as soon as I saw who it was, they took off. Man, they don't want to fight, man. They don't want to fight, man.
Motherfuckers slick.
In Philadelphia, open carry is legal in most public spaces for those who hold a license to carry firearms.
My alien family
Black Panther Party is back. For real. What is you guys' plan? I mean,
Black liberation.
Black liberation.
Yeah, we gotta hear the plan.
I thought I was liberated,
Yeah. Well, I just came on here, like walking on here, because they come on train. So imagine they came on here, looking around, and they saw you.
But
and
aren't you guys afraid that the police is gonna start confronting you guys?
The police are.
I mean, is this legal?
The police are terrified of
What you doing?
Yeah, the police are terrified of us. We make them leave. As soon as we approach cops, they take off running.
Okay. They just trying to see how far y'all
I don't want to
gonna
get shot by no police. No, but I need to stop though.
I mean, you know, I have a strong opinion on all of this. I'm going to keep it to myself. I've been sitting here thinking as I'm playing this shit like this.
Yeah, I understand.
Espouse how I really feel about all of this, but it's probably best I don't. I do not want to create any
it's kind of
division whatsoever.
something should be done. Sure enough.
So we can go into the history of the Black Panthers, as I said,
To be
and we know
fair,
that Fred Hampton indeed was fighting.
they forgot they was our
everyone,
brothers and
all
sisters
oppressed
when they
and
disrespected
trying
us.
to unite everyone. This is what made him so
Okay.
dangerous. But they absolutely
So coming back
focused
again
on fighting for
to
black
help
men.
you.
These individuals are making it clear
Are
that
you
they're out
gonna
here fighting
turn
against ICE. That
when
their
you
whole-
rescue.
all of the rhetoric, at least
You know what I'm
in
saying?
this video, has been about ICE and attacking them and being ready for them should they come and try to take people back and deport them. They are risking their lives, nevertheless. It is a dangerous enterprise because even though it is an open carry state, you're walking around with these humongous weapons and this all black gear with your hats on and you stumping down the street. And at any time, anyone can say that they are afraid, intimidated, whatever, get into an argument and it escalates with the police or whomever. And I would expect that these individuals would defend themselves, which would then, of course, just escalate a potential situation. So whatever my feelings are about what they're doing in their organization, really neither here nor there, because they are risking their lives for people and for the people and for all people. Here.
We're anti-ICE. We're fire.
All right, cool, guys. Thank you.
Y'all heard him. He's the chairman, man. He speaks for the people that don't have a voice, man. And you know what I mean? He speaks facts, man. For the people that don't defend themselves. Y'all see what's going on? Alright.
We contacted the city of Philadelphia and its police department for comments on the presence of the Black Panther Party for self-defense on their streets. They did not respond.
Us old cats, a little history. You turn, like I say, you turn. Are you going to turn on us if we help you? Because that's what happened to the old Black Panther. Okay? That's the deal. So it's old cats looking and watching and being cautious. These young guys, I understand, I'm proud of them. They want to help, you know. But we know these slick ass people that run this shit, or think they run this shit that ain't theirs, but I don't, you know, whatever. We're going to show some of that too. We just saying, we watching.
So far, there have been no major ICE operations in Philadelphia. Meanwhile, the party is
don't think they ain't watching y'all
to
now.
other cities like Boston and New York.
They just playing y'all game right now.
Philadelphia,
Don't get
Paul
caught.
Birdsong released a video.
All power to the people.
Birdsong's former mentor and a member of the original Black Panthers, Aaron Dixon, who had supported the use of the Black Panther name, withdrew his support for the group. As a result, the group renamed itself the Black Lion Party for International Solidarity, though its mission and activities remain unchanged.
We'll see.
The Black Lion, okay, so they changed their name to the Black Lion Party? Of solidarity or whatever? Okay. There you have it. I just wanted to bring that to you. I'm interested to know what you all think in the comments.
We know.
Black Lion Party now, out fighting for justice on the street, fighting against ICE. They're ready to go to war with ICE, apparently. I mean, should it come to that? They're out there, as we can see, with their weapons for everyone to see, and they're making it clear in this tape that they said, send all you got. ICE, send your hundreds of people. We don't care. We're prepared. You heard them say that the police do not want a fight with them. So, you know, some people will say they need to keep this energy and bring this energy into the black community solely, but they did say that they were fighting for black liberation. Clearly, apparently, that includes a lot of different people, a lot of different folks. Just liberation for everyone.
Well, some should be done, true enough. Oh, shit. Dang. Me and my damn hand.
So we're making.
Three things.
What did they get a punch? What is it? Real time. Okay. We'll see.
I know you don't know the difference between FBA, and I know you don't know the difference between the African American, because there are people.
Oh, I was gonna look for something. Let me go. Thanks for Empress. With an E or I. Immigrant song, interesting. You know I'm going with this, right? How quickly we forget.
See what scholarships you may qualify for. Visit gcu.edu/myoffer.
This back to school, I partnered up with Coles to see if these kids can do the impossible.
European exploration and the colonization of the Americas was mainly fueled by the necessity for resources and wealth. The Orient, also known as the East, with exotic products such as pottery, silk, and species, soon became a magnet to European traders. The trading route via the Silk Road, however, was under threat by the middle of the 15th century due to the rise in the power of the Ottoman Turks and the impairment of the Mongol Empire. At the same time, the development in shipbuilding and navigation made it possible for longer and further to travel. This helped to secure the trading route with Asia, and unexpectedly led to the exploration of a new land, which is later known as the Americas. European discovery of the Americas. In 1492, while on expeditions to find new trade routes from Europe to Asia, Christopher Columbus, an Italian explorer, accidentally discovered a new world that possessed all the natural wealth which the Europeans sought so eagerly. This new world, or later known as the Americas, is the continents of the Western Hemisphere, including North America, which covers Central America and the Caribbean islands, and South America. Before the arrival of European explorers, the Americas were home to tens of millions of native peoples that are now known collectively as American Indians or Native Americans. With great deposits of gold and other minerals, as well as vast plains, valleys, and mountains, this new land was viewed by the Europeans as an enormous wilderness area with great economic potential, and thus became the land of dreams for those who were longing for resources and wealth. This period of exploration and discovery soon became an international race of major European powers, Spain, France, and England, to increase their wealth and establish colonies around the world. Spanish Empire in the Americas. The first European country to conquer and colonize the New World was Spain. By 1512, the larger Caribbean islands were occupied by the Spanish, with the first Spanish town established on the island of Hispaniola, and Santo Domingo becoming the first capital of Spain's New World possessions. Other areas then settled by the Spanish were Cuba, Puerto Rico, and Jamaica. Spanish conquistadors then sailed from the island harbors to explore the coasts and penetrate the continents. In 1519 to 1521, They conquered the Aztec Empire in Mexico, and a few years later took control of the Inca Empire in Peru. After growing rich from vast deposits of gold and silver in Mexico and Peru, Spain organized further expeditions to the surrounding areas, and soon settled most of Central America and South America, except for Brazil, which was colonized by the Portuguese. Other conquistadors ventured north into the southern parts of what is now the United States. In 1562, northern Florida was settled by a group of French Protestants, Huguenots, forcing the Spanish to launch an expedition led by the explorer Pedro Menendez de Aviles in 1565. Most of the French colonists were killed, and a Spanish fort was built on the site of what is now St. Augustine. Later in the 16th century, Spain began colonizing the region north of Mexico. In 1598, a group of Spanish settlers arrived in the New Mexico-Arizona area, and the city of Santa Fe was founded in 1610. During the 1700s, Spain managed to colonize other outposts in North America, Texas and California. After all, Spain possessed the largest land area of the colonial empires in the New World, including several islands in the West Indies, all of Mexico, most of Central America, most of South America, and what are now Florida, California, and the U.S. Southwest. The English colonies in the Americas. England also took part in the exploration and colonization of the Americas, and their most significant establishment proved to be the 13 colonies along North America's Atlantic coastline. In 1606, just a few months after King James I granted charters to the London Company and the Plymouth Company to establish permanent colonial settlements in North America, 3 ships were sent by the London Company to what is now Virginia. In 1607, they reached the Chesapeake Bay and headed about 60 miles up the James River, where they built the first permanent colony called Jamestown. The second successful English settlement in America was the Plymouth colony in what is now Massachusetts in 1620 by the Pilgrims. Following the success of the Jamestown and Plymouth colonies were gradually established by the English in the region that became known as New England. Massachusetts Bay, another settlement established in 1629, was the landing place of the Mayflower and the Pilgrims. As Massachusetts prospered and expanded, the settlers sought the new colonies in New England. New Hampshire was another piece of New England to be formed in 1632. Connecticut and Rhode Island were formed in 1635 and 1636 respectively for people to have the opportunity to live and worship in accordance with their beliefs. Today, New England also includes Maine and Vermont. In the Middle Colonies, New York was originally colonized by the Dutch in 1626 with the name New Netherland, but then became the English colony in 1664. This colony also included the first permanent settlement in New Jersey. Delaware, as part of the Swedish colony in New Sweden, was founded in 1638 and then became an English colony in 1664. In 1680, the Quakers settled Pennsylvania, forming the last piece of the Middle Colonies. In the Southern Colonies, the English settled Maryland to the north of Virginia in 1634 and Carolina in 1653, later split into North Carolina and South Carolina in 1729. Georgia colony was established in 1732 as a buffer zone between the British colonies and Spanish settlements in Florida. By the 17th century, the English had taken the lead in colonizing North America with the formation of the 13 colonies, which later became the 13 original states of the United States of America. The French colonies in the Americas. France, one of the 2 northern Atlantic kingdoms besides England, began sending ships to explore and colonize the Americas in the 17th century. In North America, France established a large colony called New France. Seeing the potential for fur trading, the founder of Quebec in 1608, Samuel de Champlain, attempted to explore the region and to build up the French fur trade with the help of the Huron Indians. 3 years later, he established the beginning of a settlement on Huron Island, which is today the site of Montreal. In 1682, René Robert Cavelier, the most famous of all the explorers, had his expedition descend the Mississippi River from the Illinois Territory to the Gulf of Mexico, and later claimed the entire territory for France. Many other French permanent settlements in North America were founded, including Detroit, St. Louis, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans. Down to the Caribbean islands in South America, by 1664, France controlled 14 islands in the Caribbean, with the principal possessions including Saint Domingue, now Haiti, Martinique, Guadeloupe, and Dominica. On the northeast coast of South America, after numerous changes in control alternating between France, Britain, the Dutch, the Netherlands, and Portugal, the colony of French Guiana was finally confirmed as French in 1817.
Support more radiant, even-toned skin with new Floristore Digest and Skin Renew Probiotic.
I had just recently gotten.
European migration to the United States and South America. During the colonial era, millions of people left Europe and immigrated to the Americas, mostly in the United States and South America, seeking either economic opportunities or religious freedom. From 1815 to 1865, thousands of migrants sailed mainly from Northern and Western Europe to America due to crop failure. At that time, all of Ireland was part of the UK, and most of the migrants were Irish, unskilled labor coming to America to avoid starvation. Also, half of 5 million German coming to the US became former settlers in some areas that are now cities such as Milwaukee, St. Louis, and Cincinnati. The influx of immigrants resulted in competition for jobs, religious discrimination, and protests across the country. In the 1850s, the anti-immigrant, anti-Catholic American Party, also called the Know-Nothings, attempted to put a curb on immigration, and even won several governorships and legislative seats in the presidential election of 1856. Following the Civil War, rapid industrialization and urbanization from 1880 to 1920 made the immigration situation a bigger wave. The majority of more than 20 million immigrants were from Central, Eastern, and Southern Europe, with different motivations such as job opportunities and freedom of religion. In addition, many Africans were brought to America and sold into slavery. The Opium Wars of the mid-19th century between Great Britain and China put China in debt, and many Chinese left the country to find work. As a result, Asian immigrants, mainly from China, crossed the Pacific to join the California Gold Rush. The flare-up of World War I eased the trend of immigration. In 1917, Congress enacted legislation in which immigrants over 16 years old were required to pass a literacy test, and immigration quotas were established in the early 1920s. Later, a system preferred immigrants from Western Europe over immigrants from Asia, called the Immigration Act of 1924, restricted entry to 2% of the total number of people of each nationality in America. As a result of the global depression in the 1930s and World War II, the immigration waves fell off. Congress passed special legislation enabling refugees from Europe and the Soviet Union to enter the United States after the war. People from Cuba also gained admittance to enter the U.S. after the Cuba Revolution in 1959. The Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965 made the country experience a shift in immigration patterns. Today, U.S. immigrants are mostly from Asia and Latin America rather than Europe.
Okay, let's go. Let's see.
Eventually, maybe you'll actually say when the teacher says, Christopher Columbus discovered America and he met those Indians here. There were no Indians here when Christopher Columbus got here. There were people from Africa who had been here for over 10,000 years before Christopher Columbus was born. It's time for us to teach our children the truth. Eventually, maybe you'll actually say when the teacher says, Christopher Columbus discovered America and he met those Indians here. There were no Indians here when Christopher Columbus got here. There were people from Africa who had been here for over 10,000 years before Christopher Columbus was born.
Homes AI, the first home search you can actually talk to. All you have to do is ask. Only on Homes.com.
Hotels.com introduces Save Your Way. Choose how you save. Take instant savings now or bank as rewards for a future trip.
Christopher Columbus did not discover America. Exactly. I mean, never mind the question of like how you can discover a place where the inhabitants are watching you arrive from the shore. They weren't wearing pants. Is that what somebody said? I like that.
Blacks as we know them are as old as time, and their existence in the civilized world could be traced down to the very early centuries, even before the coming of Christ. Going forward, the conventional history reports that Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492. And the same history also says that the first black people to arrive in America were enslaved Africans brought by Portuguese and Spanish traders in the early 16th century through the transatlantic slave trade. Well, none of these claims are true. We've been fooled all these while, as always has been the case. Interestingly, recent research has proven that some black people have been in America for more than 1,000 years before Columbus ever stepped foot into the American continent. In fact, there is strong evidence pointing to the fact.
What is the main idea in your book, They Came Before Columbus?
The main idea in my book is to show that early America before the coming of Columbus, was a far more complex society than people imagined, and that it involved Africans. Africans came in here, they came in on several occasions. Sometimes these were accidents, sometimes they were on purpose, and that they had an influence, an actual impact, an influence upon the formation of certain American civilizations.
When we say pre-Columbus period, what are we talking about?
We're talking about long before 1492. It is absurd, and only fools can still believe that Columbus discovered the Americas in 1492. In fact, Columbus never even came to this continent. Columbus wandered about in the Caribbean islands just on the very edge of the great civilizations.
Shocked? Don't be. It is true. Unraveling the raw truth behind the curtains of history is what we are about today in this video. Journey with us in our quest to find out just who the real lords of the Americas actually are.
So anyway, there were actually many other mariners before Columbus that discovered America as well. Decades earlier, even eons earlier, there were so many people that were coming across these islands and this continent. But it's only been in the last century that evidence has surfaced and continually grown to indicate that many of these pre-Columbian explorers might have come from Africa.
The facts point out that black people actually it was who were in America thousands of years before Columbus. Before we go on, do not forget to support our efforts by hitting the like button before you. Share with your friends and families to keep spreading our eye-opening black narrative, and consider subscribing to stay with us for more if you are yet to. All right, let us dive in, shall we?
That many of these pre-Columbian explorers might have come from Africa. So the first scientist to promote this possibility was Leo Wiener. Born in Russia, Wiener immigrated to the United States in the late 19th century on his way to British Honduras, where he planned to open a vegetarian commune. Well, when that turned out not to be the dream job he expected, he moved back to the United States and he became a professor at Harvard University, as one does. But in his time in Mesoamerica, he started noticing things. There are lots of things that led him to encounter certain discoveries that made him consider that possibly if the origins of American civilization might actually be in Africa. So he observed so many linguistic and botanical and other similarities that between 1920 and 1922, he published an extensive 3-volume piece called Africa and the Discovery of America. Now, unfortunately, this is 1920s, so as yet no serious archaeological evidence had been done to, or work had been done to support his botanical theories, because everyone was overrating tombs in Egypt and things like that, not Howard Carter. So he didn't have a whole lot of other stuff than the names to support him. However, he knew that other clues must exist. For example, he pointed out that Columbus himself was aware that African mariners had preceded him. In his diary of his second voyage, Columbus tells of how the natives of Hispaniola actually had given him gold-tipped metal spearheads that they said were brought by black-skinned people who had come in large boats from the south and southeast. Coincidence? I think not. No. So well, what's interesting about that, so upon returning to Spain, is that he actually took the spearheads and he sent them away and had them assayed, and it turned out to be that these spearheads were covered in this metal, this alloy that the inhabitants called guanin, and the metallurgists actually found out that this was an alloy of 32 parts. It was like 18 of gold, 6 of silver, 8 of copper, which matched the metal used in spearheads made in Western Africa for thousands of years, as carried by medieval African warriors, including the Mali and the Moors. The West Africans even called this metal guanine, the same name used by the natives of Hispaniola. But nothing more was said about that. Conspiracy. Well, probably because, in the interest of Spain, it was in their best interest that they didn't want to have any challenges to the discovery and the claims to the islands of the West Indies.
You heard that? Yes. It was the black-skinned that had already discovered and populated America for thousands of years before Columbus sailed there and then landed in the Caribbean by some mistake. Columbus landed in the Americas on October 12, 1492. He landed at a small island in the Bahamas and had 3 separate trips after that, repeatedly returning to the Bahamas, as well as an island later called Hispaniola, modern-day Haiti, and Dominican Republic. Suffice it to say that he had brought hell to the people who had welcomed him with open arms in the Republic when he got there. This has always been a signature, right?
Christopher Columbus, one of the great European heroes, turns up on the island of Hispaniola. He was welcomed by the native people. They embraced them. They treated them with fantastic hospitality. His soldiers snatched babies from the breasts of their mothers and dashed their heads against the rocks. Children were fed alive to his dogs. Women's breasts were cut off. He decided to hang 13 of the Native Americans in Hispaniola to recreate the crucifixion of Jesus, plus the apostles. It's true that the majority of people died there of disease. Disease is introduced by the Europeans unwittingly but many others were driven to death through overwork, direct murder, through starvation as their resources were taken away. Columbus insisted that everybody bring him a certain amount of gold, and those who failed to do so had their hands cut off. Some were sent back to their villages with their hands and their noses tied round their necks, having been amputated by his soldiers. And what he did there set the pattern for the genocidal extermination of almost all the Native American peoples, 100 million. Before Columbus made landfall, by the 19th century, that had come down to less than 1 million across the Americas. Overtly endorsed by such revered figures as George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, who wrote about the necessity of wiping out Native American peoples.
Let us not veer too far away, however, from the actual subject of discourse going forward here. The point being buttressed is, the people who were originally known to have discovered America are not only Africans, but are believed to have also come from Asia some 15,000 years ago, meaning that Europeans or Americans are far from it. However, contrary to popular belief, African American history did not start with slavery in the New World. The history of African presence in America dates back thousands of years before the arrival of Christopher Columbus in 1492. Africans were not just brought to America as slaves during the transatlantic slave trade, but they had actually been living in the Americas long before European colonization. So, while we commend Christopher Columbus for sailing the seas in search of new land on Europe's behalf, it should be recalled that he was not the first to make that journey, as widely untaught evidence exists, suggesting that Africans made it to the Americas after the first Americans arrived on the continent, centuries before Columbus ever did.
As the poem goes, or it should anyway, in 1493, Columbus stole all he could see. Yeah, so on his second voyage, which was 10 times larger than the first, Columbus went on a frantic but unsuccessful island hopping trip to find gold and spices. He carried along several natives from his newly discovered San Salvador, which the inhabitants called Guanahanvi. Another island that the natives pointed out, which is really large, and was called Soameto. Soameto. Now, Columbus continued going around whimsically renaming every island he could find, but, Leo Wiener, being the curious person and the linguist that he was, and the etymologist, he couldn't help noticing that the origin of these many place names and botanical names in Mesoamerica actually sounded distinctly like other languages in Africa, particularly Bantu and even Arabic.
In fact, there are several more overwhelming pieces of evidence showing that black history in the Americas did not start with slavery. For instance, what of the talk about certain plants found today in America and also in Africa?
Wiener and numerous other botanists have also puzzled over the presence of certain plants that predated Columbus but originated in Africa. For example, the calabash bodyboards. Now, this is a species originated from West Africa, where they were well cultivated in America before Europeans arrived, even long before they existed in Indonesia or Polynesia. So, in fact, the Pacific was the last place that bodyboards actually reached and expanded. Part of my café. Well, if it were not for transatlantic trade, pre-Columbian times, it would be very difficult to explain how certain plants, such as the yam, the sweet potato, domesticated cotton, peanuts, and tobacco, reached both West Africa and the Americas.
Africans were adept shipbuilders. They were courageously adventurous, sailing diverse parts with their well-made boats, different sizes of them. Some housed up to 80 men and some housed much more.
So how did these plants and languages and other cultural elements get to the Americas? Well, some believe, what's that? Well, you're cheating. Well, some people believe that over thousands of years, Africans migrated out of Africa, and then over the Bering Strait, then down into South America, and things like that. Well, another explanation exists, and so get ready. There you go, let it out of your system. Awesome. Africans had ships. In fact, they had four kinds of, unbelievable. They had a shipload of vessels, and they had away. The anchors away. So, in fact, they had four kinds of vessels. And Nubian pottery, this is an example of Nubian pottery with a painting on it that shows a long-hole pottery art. That shows either a long-hole boat or a papyrus raft or a hulled-out canoe. And then this other painting beside it is from, the first one was from 3000 BC, and this is a bird's eye view of an oared riverboat in Chad. And it dates from 3500 BCE. Now, the Africans of Guinea also had dugout canoes, hewn from these monumental trees on the coast there. In 1500, it's just a few years after Columbus's voyage, the Portuguese captain Pacheco Pereira wrote, "In this country can be found the largest canoes made of a single trunk. Some are so large that they hold 80 men." Now, the West Africans were known to lash two dugout canoes together, side by side, and no one questions the seaworthiness of a similar type of Polynesian catamarans. Well, here's a 15th century Portuguese painting of sailing canoes on the Congo estuary. The Portuguese, like Captain Pereira, had heard that African traders were visiting Brazil in the mid-1400s. So to demonstrate that mariners from West Africa could have sailed to the Americas using papyrus vessels as early as 2000 BCE, the Norwegian adventurer Tor Heyerdahl actually used ancient shipbuilding techniques in order to construct and sail the Ra 1 and the Ra 2 in 1969 and 70. And generally, some type of sailing vessel will average about 100 miles per day, even without sails.
Africans were in fact so good at what they do that mariners from West Africa dove would sail to the Americas using papyrus vessels as early as the year 2000 BCE. They were so well skilled in ancient shipbuilding techniques that some of their sailing vessels would average about 100 miles per day, even without sails. And in an ocean current, something like a raft or reed boat can average about 60 miles a day. Historian Amir Ajib reported that voyages west from Mali were happening in the year 1311. And this was a vast 150 years before Columbus.
Now, Islamic historian Amir Ajib reported that voyages west from Mali were happening in the year 1311, and just 150 years before Columbus. Now, when he asked the Mali emperor, shown here incidentally, holding a globe of the world made of solid gold,
Anybody else got something they want to share?
Native body wash. It's got no parabens or sulfates.
That all?
No, 24-hour freshness.
Good.
There's DNA. And there's heavy-duty DNA.
Asked him, well, tell me about this rumor about Atlantic travel. And he said that his predecessor had commissioned an expedition with 200 ships filled with men and a similar number with gold and water and enough provisions for 2 years. And he said, go out and find something. And if you don't come back, so you find something or you run out of food. And unfortunately, only one ship returned, and the captains told the emperor that we sailed for a very long time until we met with what seemed like a river with a strong current flowing in the open sea. I was the last ship, and I turned where I was and did not enter the current. The others disappeared. I do not know what became of them.
Overwhelming pieces of evidence. The strongest evidence of African presence in America before Columbus comes from the pen of Columbus himself. According to an American historian and linguist, Leo Weiner of Harvard University, one of the strongest pieces of evidence to support the fact that Africans sailed to America before Christopher Columbus was a journal entry from Columbus himself. In 1920, Leo Weiner, in his book, Africa and the Discovery of America, explained how Columbus noted in his journal that Native Americans had confirmed that
black-skinned people had come from the southeast in boats trading in gold-tipped spears.
It was found also that the ratio of properties of gold, copper, and silver alloy were identical to the spears then being forged in African Guinea. It is said that the inhabitants of Hispaniola were the ones to confirm this to Columbus, as he wrote in his journal of the second voyage. Other explorers like Vasco Núñez de Balboa, a Spanish explorer who was best known for crossing the Isthmus of Panama to the Pacific Ocean in 1513, also reported sighting black people off Panama. There were dark-skinned people in the Caribbean long before the Atlantic slave trade and long before the arrival of Columbus, but there are some historians that say Columbus was misinterpreted. He simply said there were people that painted their skins black, which might suggest that Native Americans were the ones with the painted faces he was referencing. One of the first documented instances of Africans sailing and settling in the Americas were black Egyptians, led by King Ramses III during the 19th dynasty in 1870-92 BC. In fact, in 445 BC, the Greek historian Herodotus wrote of the ancient Egyptian pharaohs' great seafaring and navigational skills. Further concrete evidence noted by an Egyptian chancellor to the King Djoser, Dr. Imhotep, and largely ignored by Eurocentric archaeologists, includes Egyptian artifacts found across North America, from the Algonquin writings on the East Coast to the artifacts and Egyptian place names in the Grand Canyon. In 1311 AD, another major wave of African exploration to the New World was led by King Abubakar II, the ruler of the 14th century Mali Empire, which was larger than the Holy Roman Empire. The king sent out 200 ships of men and 200 ships of trade material, crops, animals, cloth, and crucially, African knowledge of astronomy, religion, and the arts. African explorers crossing the vast Atlantic waters in primitive boats may seem unlikely, or perhaps far-fetched to some. But such incredible nautical achievements are not as daunting as they seem, given that numerous successful modern attempts have illustrated that without an oar, rudder, or sail, ancient African boats, including the dugout, would certainly have been able to cross the vast ocean in a matter of weeks. As time allows us to drift further and further away from the European age of exploration, and we move beyond an age of racial intellectual prejudice, historians are beginning to recognize that Africans were skilled navigators long before Europeans, contrary to popular belief. Of course, some Western historians continue to refute this fact because consciously or unconsciously, they are still hanging on to the 19th century notion that seafaring was a European monopoly. After all, history will tell you that seafaring is the quintessential European achievement, the single endeavor of which Europeans are awfully proud of. Seafaring allowed Europe to conquer the world. So the notion that black Africans braved the roaring waters of the Atlantic Ocean and beat Europeans to the New World threatens a historically white sense of ownership over the seas. Also, when most people think about ancient Mexico, the first civilizations that come to mind are the Incas, Aztecs, and the Maya. However, during the early 1940s, archaeologists uncovered a civilization known as the Olmecs of 1200 BCE, which predated any other advanced civilization in the Americas. The Olmec civilization was one of the most well-known examples of early African presence in America. The civilization, which was of African origin and dominated by Africans, was the first significant civilization in Mesoamerica and considered the mother culture of Mexico by many historians. This civilization existed between 1200 to 400 BCE in the areas that are known today as the states of Veracruz and Tabasco. One of the main things this civilization is known for is the gigantic stone head carving of their leaders. The carvings clearly depict African faces. This civilization was also responsible for introducing written language, arts, and mathematics to Mesoamerica civilization. The first of these gigantic stone heads were discovered by explorer Jose Melgar in Veracruz in 1862. He wrote,
"What astonished me was the Ethiopic type which it represents. I reflected that there had undoubtedly been blacks in this country."
At this point, the Olmec people were known for their advanced agricultural practices, monumental stone sculptures, and complex social structures. Many historians and archaeologists believe that the Olmec civilization was influenced by African cultures, as evidenced by the similarities in their art and religious practices. Enormous Olmec head statues with African facial characteristics found throughout Central and South America support that Africans had settled in America long before its apparent discovery. Ranging up to 11.15 feet in height and weighing 30 to 40 tons, these statues generally depict helmeted black men with large eyes, broad, fleshy noses, and full lips. An ancient African historian, Professor Van Sertima, has also illustrated how Olmecs were the first Mesoamerican civilization to use a written language, sophisticated astronomy, arts, and mathematics and they built the first cities in Mexico, all of which greatly influenced the Mayans and subsequent civilizations in the Americas. Michael Coe, a leading historian in Mexico, once remarked,
"There's not the slightest doubt that all later civilizations in Mexico and Central America rest ultimately on an Olmec base."
Another clear indicator of pre-Columbian African transatlantic travel is the recent archaeological findings of narcotics native to America and ancient Egyptian mummies, which have astounded contemporary historians. German toxicologist Svetla Balabanova reported findings of cocaine and nicotine in ancient Egyptian mummies. These substances are known to only be derived from American plants, South American cocaine from Erythroxylon coca, and nicotine from Nicotiana tabacum. Such compounds could only have been introduced to ancient Egyptian culture through trade with Americans. Similarities across early American and African religions also indicate significant cross-cultural contact. The Mayans, Aztecs, and Incas all worship black gods, and the surviving portraits of the black deities are revealing. For instance, ancient portraits of the Quetzalcoatl, a serpent god, and Ecahua, the god of war, are unquestionably Negro with dark skin and woolly hair. Now, why would Native Americans venerate images so unmistakably African if they had never even seen them before? Numerous wall paintings in caves in Jaxtlahuaca, southwestern Mexico, depict the famous ancient Egyptian opening of the mouth and cross-libation rituals. All these religious similarities are too large and occur far too often to be mere coincidences. Professor Everett Borders, a U.S. innovator, notes another very important indication of African presence, which is the nature of early American pyramids. Egypt is famous for ancient pyramids, but the Americas actually have more pyramids than any other place in the world. But the Egyptian pyramids are much older and show signs of progress from the earliest pyramids built to the more sophisticated and enormous pyramids that are now famous. However, the pyramids found in Central America do not show the same level of progress. That suggests that whoever built the American pyramids had already mastered pyramid building by the time those pyramids were built, which points the finger to Africans who likely sailed over to the Americas with that knowledge and constructed them in America. The earliest known pyramid in the Americas is found in Tabasco, Mexico, and was built by the Olmecs, the same civilization known for the gigantic stone heads. Therefore, the great ancient civilizations of Egypt and West Africa traveled to the Americas, contributing immensely to early American civilization by importing the art of pyramid building, political systems, and religious practices, as well as mathematics, writing, and a sophisticated calendar. Furthermore, archaeologists have discovered ancient skulls and skeletons that they believe belong to people of African descent. In a 1975 publication by the New York Times, it is stated that a Smithsonian Institution team reported finding 2 Negro male skeletons in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The soil from the earth layers in which the skeletons were found was dated around 1250 A.D. Polish professor Andrzej Wiercinski has also testified to the discovery of African skulls at Olmec sites. More ancient skeletons that archaeologists believe are Africans have also been discovered in other locations in Central and South America, further pointing to the fact that Africans have known America's soils way longer than we were made to believe. Most historians, archaeologists, anthropologists, and other scientists and scholars now know that Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. Not only were Native Americans present when he reached the New World, but also Chinese, Phoenicians, and Europeans, among others, had been sailing to the Americas thousands of years before Columbus ventured across the Atlantic. Adding to these facts is a recent book, The First Americans Were Africans, Documented Evidence, written by a brilliant African-American scholar, David Imhotep. Imhotep's thesis is by far the most revolutionary viewpoint ever published on this subject. Unlike his predecessors, he does not claim that Africans simply sailed to the Americas before Columbus and influenced the Native Americans who resided in the New World. No, he states instead that the Native Americans themselves were black Africans who first reached the New World at least 56,000 years ago. Dr. Imhotep shows that there were 2 major groups that populated ancient America. The first were black Africans who had begun sailing to the New World tens of thousands of years ago. They were short people who appeared to have been the ancestors of modern pygmies. According to Dr. Imhotep, the second group to reach the Americas in ancient times were the Mongolians, who first arrived about 3000 BC. They traveled from Asia across the Bering Strait down through Canada and
10000. Let me ask Google search what he should have done. What's the most secure approach to picking a pin for your bank account? No connection to your personal life. Yeah, I should probably do that myself.
Reveal younger looking skin with Medicaid Crystal Retinol, the #1 retinol.
Black Americans are the real natives of the United States and also South America. And the red natives, they don't want to talk about it. I've seen radio silence from the red Siberian natives. You want to know why? Because the Muskogee tribe, after they lost in court to the black Muskogee, when they tried to kick out the black Muskogee, they had to admit there were black natives. Even the Cherokee are saying it, and now Choctaw is saying it. Wait a minute, you told me there were no black natives. You said I was a Britannian. I was a long-lost African. That's what you told me. You said this shit. I heard this shit. I responded to this shit. I've had video 6 with that same bullshit message. And now all of a sudden we see that, oh, even over in England, even over in freaking Europe, all the people over there were black. That was a perplexing discovery just made as of last month, and nobody wants to talk about it. Why? Motherfucker, why? Why don't you want to talk about the study that was done by the University of California at Riverside in conjunction with the University of Oregon with professors like Ed Booth, who discovered that, yeah, there were black people in South America. Even the Mayan language is really kind of African. Even your gods and goddesses are kind of African. You go over to Brazil, samba, go listen to samba and go listen to freaking African music. It sounds almost virtually identical. Even you go over to Mexico with the freaking merengue drums. Come on now. Pinto beans are not Mexican. Okay? Even your so-called Spanish rice is just jollof with freaking tomatoes in it. That's all it is. Yes, we've been here. We've been here for a long time. You go look up a picture of the Mission Indians of California and you tell me that's not a black tribe. Them black folks, we've been here for the longest time and it makes the most sense. What the hell do you think out of Africa means? Yes, everybody, if you trace your lineage, it goes back to Africa. That don't make you African. You don't go over to fucking Jamaica and be like, well, you know what? Hello, my fellow African. They be like, Bomba Clyde, and slap the fuck out of you, and you would got to deserve it. No, we had our own ethnogenesis right here. Right here. There's a reason why the Australian indigenous people look so black. There's a reason why so many people in India look black. There's a reason why you've always found black people in Egypt, South America, North America. Even Europe, as you're seeing, with all these white people, they all started off as Negroes, and yet for some reason the red natives here thought they were the fucking exception. No, you only started this bullshit in the late 70s, in the early 80s, because you got those first casinos, and you wanted to cut us out of all that goddamn money, like the bastard you are. That's the truth. We are the real fucking natives, and you already said it.
It's about tribal warfare. That's where we're at in the U.S. I don't know where you're at in the UK. You're from India, so I don't know.
I'm not from India.
Oh, sorry, your parents are from India, so you have your own states.
I'm an American, you know.
You're an American citizen? Okay, fair enough. I don't know how you got that, but fair enough. Here's the thing.
Are you an American citizen?
Absolutely. Okay. But here's the
I'm not sure how you got that, but good.
Born here.
Okay.
Born here, and my family lineage is settlers from the 1500s, so I have some stake in behind here, okay?
But you're
a little different.
You're a descendant of immigrants. Settlers.
I didn't know.
Colonialists.
Yeah, colonials.
You don't look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites are Native Americans. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Whites are Native Americans.
What was happening before the 1500s?
I think you're getting confused with it.
I don't mind going on the tangent. What was happening before the 1500s?
I think you're getting.
What was happening before the 1500s?
There was indigenous people here that came here from
Do you know what
Asia.
indigenous means?
Listen, before
indigenous
America,
people come from somewhere else.
Why do you ask a question if you're going to interrupt?
I'm not sure if you know what the meaning of indigenous means.
I do know what it means. It means they came here first, right? They came here from Asia by way of land bridge. Have an argument with Neil deGrasse Tyson or anybody else about that. I don't care.
Is he an American?
I genuinely don't care. Yes, he is.
Okay.
So my point is, okay.
Nothing to do with crime. So far, you agreed with me that these
because you're derailing, dude. I'm trying to stay on track.
Ask me where I'm from. I think you got
offended by that, but
because I'm offended. I'm just wondering what it has to do with crime.
I'm always curious.
We're going to talk about immigration. Don't worry, later on. You can come back.
I hope so.
Right now, you're doing a very bad job of making the case that he's not pro-crime.
I just got a round of applause. I could probably get another one, actually, if I asked for it.
Wow.
So I don't think I'm good
at get a round of applause. You sit in a room with 20 people who agree with you. Wow, amazing.
Europeans come to this continent, literally ethnically cleanse the indigenous population out of existence, kill them on a scale that has hardly been equaled, and refer to them as savages. That's an achievement. Who's the savage? The first time I encountered this was in a little town in Massachusetts called Deerfield. It's a reconstruction of what that little town looked like in colonial America. And in front of each house is a plaque that explains something about this house. And then description. On the 18th of October of 1702, the savages attacked. The first time I saw this, the savages. You come in here, destroy everything these people have, and they are the savages. That's an interesting move.
It is.
You know?
I hadn't thought of that before.
Think about
When
it.
you talk about slavery in America, we focus on Europeans that brought enslaved Africans here. But what about Native Americans? What were they doing while this was going on? The answer is complicated. Let's talk about it. Before European settlers started enslaving Africans, they tried to enslave Native Americans first, but it didn't work out the way they planned. Native Americans knew the land way too well, so obviously they escaped all the time. They had strong community ties. Other tribes would hide and protect them, and they fought back hard. So colonizers turned to the transatlantic slave trade instead. But here's where it gets interesting. Some Native tribes, they actually helped enslave Black people escape. The Seminoles in Florida, they took in runaway slaves and lived together as allies. The Underground Railroad didn't just go north. Some runaways escaped west to Native lands. There were even Black Native communities, like the Black Seminoles who fought against slavery together. White settlers hated this, of course. They launched wars just to break up these alliances. But here's the part they don't like to talk about. Some Native tribes, especially in the Southeast, owned and enslaved Black people. The Cherokee, Choctaw, Creek, and even some of the Seminoles had plantations with enslaved Africans. They passed laws keeping Black folks enslaved, just like the white settlers did. But after the Civil War, some of those tribes, they still refused to free Black people until they were actually forced by the U.S. government. Why? Because they saw the U.S. rewarded white slave owners. They got power, they got land, and some thought mimicking them would help them survive. Native Americans weren't just bystanders during slavery. Some were oppressed right along with Black people. Some were allies in the fight for freedom. And yeah, some actually participated in slavery. History is messy. People make choices based on survival. But the truth? Black and Native struggles are deeply connected. And understanding those connections helps us fight the same systems today. They don't teach you this in school for a reason. But now you know. What are you going to do with that knowledge?
Columbus didn't discover America. You can't discover a place where people are already living. But we celebrate that every October. It's a lie. We need to get away from we need to stop telling the myths and start telling the truth. If we start teaching the truth about history, if we start teaching about Nile Valley contributions to civilization, it will totally change the way we conduct ourselves in the classroom. And we'll have to.
We should not be embarrassed or afraid to say that the Native Americans are white people of European descent. That is true. The people that we call Native Americans now are not Native Americans. And the reason they're not Native Americans is because they did not form a country called America. They are not native. America is a country. It's not just a place. It's not just a plot of land. It is a country. And before America was formed as a nation, this place was not America, because America didn't exist. America existed when it was formed. And so if someone can trace their lineage back to the Comanche on the Great Plains, well, that doesn't make you you weren't native to America. You're a native to Comancheria. You're native to this. You're not native to the country of America. The people who are native to the nation of America, the people who formed this nation, were by and large, almost exclusively, white people of European descent. They are the natives of this country. They're the ones who formed this country. That doesn't mean that other people aren't allowed to live here. It just means that they're the natives. And again, anywhere else in the world, there's nothing controversial about pointing that out. And we're the only place where we're not allowed to say that. But I've been on this, I've been preaching this for a while now. I think we need to, not just as a gimmick, like I really believe we should reclaim the...
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Stop.
In discussions about the history and origins of people in the Americas, the key distinction is that white Americans are not considered Native Americans. Here's why. Ancestry, modern white Americans are predominantly descended from European settlers and immigrants who arrived in the Americas starting around the 5th, 10th, and 16th centuries. Native Americans, also referred to as indigenous people, are the original inhabitants of the Americas and have distinct cultures, histories, and traditions that predate European colonization. based on genetic and archaeological evidence. White people are not considered Native Americans in the sense of being indigenous to the Americas. It is crucial to recognize that Native American identity is multifaceted and encompasses cultural practices, language, tribal affiliation, and a deep connection to ancestral lands.
Brothers and sisters, have you ever noticed that the biggest arguments in America almost never start with the future? They start with the past. Because once people begin arguing over history, they eventually start arguing over identity. And once they start arguing over identity, the conversation becomes much bigger than politics. That's exactly what's happening in today's discussion. One simple
There was a time when the maps of the world still spoke Africa's name. When the blue...
End of day, inventory reports, 3 stores, shifting trends, 7 days of forecasting for a crowd that's always moving. Light speed keeps up, so Sophie stays a step ahead.
Take the next step in treating your moderate to severe ulcerative colitis with Entyvio, the only gut-focused...
There was a time when the maps of the world still spoke Africa's name. When the blue body between 2 continents was not the Atlantic Ocean, but the Ethiopian Ocean. Cartographers once wrote it proudly across their globes, Oceanus Ethiopicus. It meant, quite literally, the ocean of the black world. Back then, Ethiopia didn't just mean one country. It meant all the lands south of Egypt, the dark-skinned nations that the ancients knew as the cradle of people. The Greeks spoke of it with awe. Homer called the Ethiopians the blameless race, living at the edge of the earth where gods came to dine. And for centuries, that name rippled across every major map, from Coronelli's globes of 1690 to Delisle's atlases of 1720. You can still find it written there, curving in ink across the South Atlantic, linking West Africa to the Americas, like a signature that refused to fade. On this channel, we've covered a lot of erasure by humans. The bleaching of faces, the rewriting of stories, the theft of civilizations. But rarely did we think them capable of erasing an entire ocean. Yet they did. The name of Africa's ocean slowly disappeared, one edition at a time. By the 19th century, Oceanus Ethiopicus was gone, replaced by a colder word, South Atlantic. The meaning, African, human, sacred, was scrubbed away in favor of geography without soul. Why? Because names carry power. As historian Basil Davidson once wrote, to control a name is to control the memory that name holds. And so they redrew the seas to fit a new hierarchy. Europe at the center, Africa below the fold. Her water still carries the echo of that older title.
Yeah, I'm about to come back.
It was the same ocean that bore the Swahili.
I'm about to come back, y'all. Love y'all. Thanks.